Every single day, you wake up with a choice to merely exist or to lead your life with intention. The world is full of noise, endless distractions, external pressures, and fleeting desires. But the difference between those who drift through life and those who lead with purpose is simply the willingness to do the inner work every single day, not occasionally, not when it's convenient, but daily. The people we admire, the ones who create real impact, aren't made by chance. They're shaped by discipline, clarity, and unwavering commitment to what matters most. One, your purpose is not found. It's built. Every day, ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Remind yourself of what matters most. Purpose isn't a job, title, or a bank balance. It's the reason you get up when it's hard, the fuel that keeps you grounded when the world pulls you in 100 directions. 2, your integrity, your reputation is what people think of you. Your character is who you are. Do the right thing, especially when no one is watching. Be honest. Keep your promises. Your word is your power. Protect it. 3, your focus in a world addicted to urgency. Clarity is a superpower. Every day, eliminate distractions. Choose what matters. Say no to things that don't align with your values so you can say yes to your mission. 4, your discipline is the bridge between intention and execution. You won't always feel like doing what's right. But champions act with discipline, not emotion. Set your standards high, then meet them, even when it's inconvenient. 5, your mindset determines your altitude. Work on your thoughts like a gardener tends to soil. Remove weeds of doubt, comparison, and fear. Plant seeds of belief, resilience, and gratitude. What you water grows. 6, your health, you can't serve others if you're running on empty. Move your body. Fuel it with real food. Rest when needed. Your energy is your responsibility. Treat it like a sacred resource because it is. 7, your relationships success means nothing if you're alone at the top. Every day, invest in the people around you. Listen deeply. Express appreciation. Lead with empathy. Real success is built in connection, not isolation. 8, your learning growth is a daily discipline. Stay curious. Read, reflect, ask questions. The most dangerous mindset is, I already know. Stay a student of life. Stay open. Stay humble. 9, your courage fear is natural, but don't let it drive. Every day, choose to step into discomfort. Speak the truth. Take the leap. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's action in spite of it. Small, brave steps build unshakable confidence. 10. Your contribution, the greatest joy in life, is not in what we get, but in what we give. Every day, ask, who did I help today? Make someone's life better. Be generous with your time, your talent, your attention. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people willing to serve with heart. Don't let the world decide your direction. Every day, reconnect with your why. When you lead with purpose, you don't chase validation. You create value. Purpose gives your struggle meaning and turns your grind into greatness. The truth is, most people are drifting. They wake up, go through the motions, respond to whatever demands are thrown at them, and repeat the same cycle the next day. But those who live with purpose, they wake up with clarity. They don't let the noise of the world dictate what matters. They choose what to pursue, and that decision shapes their focus, their energy, and ultimately their legacy. Leading with purpose doesn't mean you always have a perfect plan. It means that deep down, you know what you're fighting for. You know what kind of impact you want to make. Purpose is what keeps you moving when motivation fades. It's what reminds you that the hard days are worth it, that the sacrifice has meaning, and that every small act of discipline is connected to something far bigger than yourself. Purpose is the internal compass that keeps you aligned when the path isn't clear. When you're driven by purpose, you stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop asking for permission and start building with conviction. You move surviving to leading. Each day, you must intentionally reconnect with your purpose because the world is loud. Social media will pull you into comparison. Deadlines will pressure you into urgency. Opinions will try to steer you in every direction except your own. But if you start your day by anchoring yourself in your why, everything else becomes noise. You stop needing to prove yourself. You stop chasing superficial wins. You become rooted. Purpose grounds you, but it also elevates you. It challenges you to become the person your mission requires you to be. It forces growth, demands integrity, and cultivates endurance. When you know your purpose, you don't need external motivation. You become your own fire. Living with purpose doesn't mean life gets easier. In fact, it often becomes harder. But the struggle is different. It's not suffering without meaning. It's effort with intention. You begin to understand that your energy is precious, and so you protect it. You say no to things that don't align with your mission, not because you're arrogant, because you're focused. You stop scattering your time and start investing it. And slowly, your actions begin to reflect your values. Your days become more than routines. They become acts of leadership. Purpose transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary steps forward. It turns challenges into training grounds. It turns failures into feedback. You start recognizing that everything you do, every decision, every conversation, every effort is either moving you closer to or further from your deeper mission. And that awareness is power. When you wake up each morning and remind yourself of why you're doing this, you begin to move with intention. You're not just chasing success anymore. You're living for something greater. The strongest leaders are the ones who hold themselves to a higher standard, even in silence. True character is revealed not in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It's easy to act with integrity when applause is guaranteed, when recognition is expected, when someone is there to witness your actions. But the real test of your values shows up when you're alone, when the reward isn't immediate, and when doing the right thing is the harder choice. This is where true growth happens, not in the performance, but in the private discipline. Character is not built through grand gestures. It's formed in the small, quiet decisions you make every single day. Every time you choose honesty over shortcuts, accountability over excuses, effort over ease, you are shaping who you are. These decisions stack up. They create the foundation of your identity, brick by brick. The world might not see every choice you make, but those choices shape how you see yourself. And that self-respect, that personal pride, it's worth more than any external validation. People often confuse reputation with character. Reputation is how the world sees you. Character is how you see yourself when the lights are off and the doors are closed. Reputation can be crafted, but character must be earned. There will be moments when cutting corners seems tempting, when bending the truth feels justifiable, when taking the easy way out feels more efficient. But ask yourself, who are you becoming in the process? What type of person do you want to be known as? Not just publicly, but privately. Building character means doing the right thing, even when it costs you. It means standing up for your values when it's unpopular, inconvenient, or even painful. It means refusing to compromise your integrity for temporary gain. And it means leading yourself before you try to lead others. You cannot expect to influence others if you cannot first be trusted by yourself. Trust begins internally. If you break your own standards, you silently teach yourself that your word doesn't matter. Over time, that erodes confidence. But when you live in alignment with your values, when your actions match your beliefs, you begin to walk through the world with a different level of certainty. You no longer need to chase validation because your own conscience becomes your compass. You stand taller, not from arrogance, but from authenticity. People might not always notice your integrity, but they will feel it. They will trust it. They will be drawn to it. Because in a world full of pretense, authenticity is magnetic. The person who consistently chooses principle over popularity becomes rare, respected, and remembered. But none of that starts on a stage. It starts in the small moments of decision. It starts when you hold yourself accountable, when you show up for your responsibilities, when you resist the temptation to let standards slip. Building character isn't flashy. It's quiet, difficult, and often unseen. But it is the one investment that never loses value. In a distracted world, clarity is rare and powerful. Focus is not something you stumble upon. It is something you create with intention. Every day, we are bombarded by notifications, opinions, information, and demands competing for our attention. If you do not take control of your focus, the world will gladly take it from you. Focus is the ability to filter the noise, to tune into what truly matters, and to consistently bring your energy, time, and mind to the priorities that move your life forward. Without it, even the most talented people drift. With it, even the most ordinary efforts become extraordinary. You must learn to master your attention, because what you focus on grows. Where your attention goes, your life flows. Focus is not just about productivity. It's about purpose. It's about ensuring your daily actions are aligned with your long-term vision. It's about saying no to the distractions that offer instant gratification so you can say yes to the work that leads to lasting impact. Focus allows you to build momentum, and momentum compounds. 1 hour of deep, intentional work is worth more than 10 hours of scattered, shallow effort. But to unlock that kind of focus, you have to protect it like your most valuable asset. Because it is. When you live in reaction, constantly pulled in every direction by the latest demand or distraction, you give up control. Your priorities become someone else's. Your goals take a back seat to urgency. Focus requires boundaries. It demands that you guard your time, your energy, and your mental bandwidth. That might mean waking up earlier to work without interruption. It might mean stepping away from social media, saying no to a meeting, or turning off your phone. Not because those things are inherently bad, but because they are not aligned with your mission right now. There's a myth that multitasking is a strength, but the truth is, multitasking is just another word for doing several things poorly. Real results come from sustained attention on one thing at a time. Focus brings depth, and depth brings quality. If you want to do meaningful work, if you want to build something lasting, you must learn to dive deep into your craft, into your goals, into your growth. And that only happens when you discipline yourself to focus. When you sit down and say, this matters. This deserves my full attention. A clarity and focus go hand in hand. When you're clear on your values, your mission, your goals, you don't need to be pulled in 100 directions. You know what matters, and because you know what matters, you know what doesn't. That clarity becomes your filter. It becomes your shield against distraction. People who stay focused are not the ones with the most willpower. They're the ones with the most clarity. They've decided what's important, and they protect it relentlessly. Focus allows you to work smarter, live more intentionally, and progress faster. It eliminates confusion, reduces stress, and magnifies results. It is not a one-time act. It's a daily decision to give your attention to what truly deserves it. Discipline is the bridge between intention and execution. It's easy to talk about goals, to write them down in a journal, to declare them publicly with excitement and enthusiasm. But none of it matters without the daily follow through. Discipline is what transforms ambition into achievement. It is the quiet, unseen force that pushes you to show up even when motivation disappears. Even when the conditions aren't ideal, even when the results aren't immediate. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't come with praise or applause. It often feels repetitive, boring, and thankless. But it is the one ingredient that separates those who dream from those who dog. Most people wait to feel inspired before taking action. They wait for the right moment, the right mood, the right energy. But that mindset creates inconsistency and delays. Discipline flips that mindset. It says, show up first, and the feeling will follow. Action leads to motivation, not the other way around. Discipline is about creating systems and routines that serve your goals, not your emotions. It's about removing decision fatigue by committing ahead of time. You don't ask yourself every day whether you feel like doing the work. You just do it because you've decided that the outcome is worth more than temporary comfort. True discipline doesn't mean forcing yourself to suffer. It means training yourself to act in alignment with your highest values, even when it's hard. It means choosing what you want most over what you want now. There will be days when you feel tired, distracted, uninspired. But discipline carries you through those days. It gives you a structure to lean on. It's the silent coach that whispers, keep going, when your mind says, give up. It is the quiet decision to keep moving forward when progress is slow, to keep your standards high even when no one's watching. Discipline is not about extremes. It's about consistency, doing small things right over and over again until they compound into extraordinary results. You don't need to make massive leaps every day. You just need to take one step, then another. Over time, that daily effort, resilience, confidence, and momentum. And the more you act with discipline, the more you begin to trust yourself. You develop a personal track record of showing up, of following through, of keeping promises to yourself. That self-trust becomes unshakable. It becomes the foundation for your long-term success. Many people the power of discipline because it doesn't produce immediate results. But success is never about what you do once. It's about what you do daily. Discipline is the repetition of deliberate action. It's waking up early, not once, but every morning. It's choosing healthy habits, not for a week, but as a lifestyle. It's putting in the work, even when nobody sees it, because you know what it's leading to. Discipline teaches you patience. It teaches you commitment. It sharpens your focus and strengthens your will. It's the practice of showing up for your future self. Today, your mindset determines your altitude. It is the lens through which you interpret everything. Your failures, your opportunities, your challenges, and even your identity. Every day, the way you think is either building you up or tearing you down. Your thoughts shape your emotions shape your actions, and your actions shape your outcomes. That's why mastering your mindset is not optional. It is essential. You could have the best strategy, the strongest network, and all the right resources, but if your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, you will sabotage your own progress. On the other hand, if you train your mind to believe, to persist, to reframe adversity as fuel, you become unstoppable. Most people are not defeated by their circumstances. They are defeated by their own thinking. They give up before they even start because somewhere deep inside, they've convinced themselves they aren't enough. They let fear write their story or let failure become their identity. But mindset isn't fixed. It's a choice. Worth. It's a practice. It's something you work on daily, just like a muscle. If you don't train it, it weakens. If you challenge it, it grows. You have to guard your thoughts like a gatekeeper because negativity will always try to creep in, and it doesn't come loudly. It comes subtly in the form of self-doubt, excuses, and limiting beliefs. You must learn to recognize those thoughts and replace them with beliefs that empower you. You don't need to be perfect to move forward. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to adopt a mindset that refuses to quit. A mindset that sees failure as a teacher, not a verdict. A mindset that embraces growth over comfort, challenge over ease, and responsibility over blame. You cannot grow while avoiding discomfort. Growth lives in the stretch, in the struggle, in the space where your old self wants to retreat and your new self wants to emerge. And it is in those moments that mindset becomes your most powerful tool. One of the most important mindset shifts you can make is to move from scarcity to abundance. Scarcity says there's not enough time, not enough opportunities, not enough talent. Abundance says there's always more to learn, more to create, more to give. Scarcity keeps you stuck. Abundance sets you free. Another shift is from victimhood to ownership. The victim mindset blames circumstances, people, and luck. The ownership mindset asks, what can I do with what I have? That question alone can transform your entire trajectory. It puts the power back in your hands. And that power grows every time you choose to think differently. Gratitude is another mindset multiplier. When you train your mind to focus on what's working instead of what's missing, you cultivate resilience. You shift from frustration to appreciation, from stress to perspective. This doesn't mean ignoring your challenges. It means refusing to let them define you. Your mindset is not just about motivation. It's about how you interpret reality. It's about choosing a perspective that propels you forward instead of paralyzing you. You can't serve others if you're running on empty. Your energy, both physical and mental, is the fuel for everything you do. Your goals, your relationships, your performance, your presence. Far too many people neglect their health while chasing success as if burning out is a badge of honor. But the truth is, no achievement is sustainable without well-being. You can't lead. You can't create. You can't show up fully in life if your body and mind are breaking down behind the scenes. That's why working on your health every single day isn't selfish. It's strategic. It's not a side task to fit in when convenient. It is the foundation for everything else. When you prioritize your health, you elevate your capacity. Physical movement isn't just about fitness. It sharpens your mind, boosts your mood, and increases your resilience. Even a short walk, a few minutes of stretching, or a basic workout can shift your state completely. Movement creates momentum. It reminds your brain that you're in control, that you're choosing strength over stagnation. And it doesn't stop with exercise. What you put into your body affects what you get out of your life. Nutrition isn't just about weight. It's about focus, clarity, energy, and longevity. Real food fuels real performance. Processed habits lead to processed outcomes. You wouldn't put cheap fuel into a high-performance machine. Why do it to your own body? Rest is equally vital. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle but underestimates recovery. But growth doesn't just happen when you're grinding. It happens when you're recharging. Sleep is not a weakness. It's a performance enhancer. It sharpens memory, improves decision making, regulates emotion, and repairs the body. Yet it's often the first thing people sacrifice when life gets busy. That's a dangerous trade. Because no matter how driven you are, you cannot outwork a depleted system. Sleep, hydration, a mindfulness, these aren't luxuries. They are leverage. Mental health is just as critical. Stress, anxiety, and emotional fatigue will eventually manifest in your performance, your focus, and your relationships if ignored. You must build in space to breathe, reflect, and reset. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, therapy, or simply quiet time without screens. Mental clarity is something you have to fight for in today's noisy world. Don't just manage stress. Train your nervous system to respond to it with strength. Calm is not weakness. It is power under control. Building a strong body and a peaceful mind takes commitment, but the return is immeasurable. When your health is aligned, you show up with more presence. You think clearer, move faster, recover quicker, and lead better. Your habits, small as they may seem, shape how you experience life. One skipped meal, one late night, one missed workout doesn't ruin you, but patterns do. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. You don't need to overhaul your life in a day. You just need to honor your health every day in some small, intentional way. You must learn to listen to your body, respect its signals, and respond with care and commitment. The more you invest in your well-being, the more powerfully you can invest in the world around you.